welcome to the Acid Trash Jamboree, and to the first hallucinatory horror highlights episode in quite a while. Up for discussion today is The Oregonian, a Calvin Lee Reader film about which I knew next to nothing until I stuck it on for a watch the other night. Okay, so as you might be able to tell from the fact that I've filed it as a hallucinatory horror movie, The Oregonian is quite a trip. There's really no great plot to speak of here. Instead, we basically spend the vast majority of the film's 80-minute runtime watching a woman stumble about in some bleak, rural ghost town following a car crash. Along the way, she meets a host of strange characters, including a curly-haired witch who looks like an extra from an Aphex Twin video, a sinister pervert in a bad Boris Johnson wig, a balding trucker who likes to make omelettes using gasoline instead of cooking oil, assorted hicks and guitar-twanging cowboys, and someone or other wearing a manky old frog costume. The woman's encounters with these waifs and strays become increasingly gross and disturbing, certainly not your everyday interactions. Reader chucking in occasional outbursts of shocking violence, replete with ample amounts of bodily ooze and splatter, to offset the film's predominantly woozy, narcoleptic atmosphere. Yeah, there are a couple of startling scenes here that are guaranteed to live on in the minds of even the most jaded, seen-it-all-before horror viewer. Though it's not all about gore and grimness, the film has a large streak of black humour running through it too. So that's The Oregonian in a nutshell. Suffice to say, but it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. So if beginnings, middles and ends are of particular importance to you, then you'd be better off swerving this. Quite why the main character finds herself trapped in this purgatorial dead space never becomes clear. Yeah, there's not very much in the way of dialogue to go off, so you're pretty much free to draw your own conclusions about what's going down here. Great if you're a film student type and you love to get your teeth into that sort of thing, but equally, if you just want to switch your analytical brain off and be taken on a weird and wild journey, then the film works on that level too. It probably goes without saying, but if you enjoy the films of David Lynch, then you'll no doubt find something of worth here. Likewise, if you're a fan of similar efforts where people wander about and surreal stuff happens, like Damon Packard's Reflections of Evil, Takashi Miike's Gozu, Phil Stevens' Flowers, and Andrey Iskanov's Nails and Visions of Suffering, then this is very much in that vein. The soundtrack ranges from indie, folk and country music to pure noise and sound abstraction. So yeah, expect to have your ears assaulted as well as your eyes. Despite being on the scene for a good while now, The Oregonian first being released back in 2011, Calvin Lee Reader is still a fairly new name to me. I've seen the anthology film The Field Guide to Evil, to which he contributed, though I don't remember anything about his segment. By all accounts, his feature-length debut, Jerk Beast, is meant to be worth a watch, so I'll no doubt check that out at some point. Same goes for The Rambler, his follow-up film to The Oregonian. Okay, so that's it for another video. Cheers for watching. Please do check out the archive for tons more ramblings about obscure movies and music, and I'll catch you again soon on the Acid Trash Jamboree.